In less than 12 hours, our state legislature will convene for the 130th year since statehood. Incredible, right? Well, during that time, lawmakers have passed thousands of laws. But what was it like in 1896 when we had no laws?
Well, we had no state laws because we had just become a state a few weeks before. And of course, our Craig Wirth researched this all.
Well, I thought it was interesting to see what were the very first laws that they passed. Now, after they got into a lot of arguing, I saw some strange laws. Now, I just can't make this up. You're going to have to watch.
Utah was the new shining star, the 45th state. But we had no state laws or a state legislature or a place where they meet. Can't be a state without those.
So it was 1896, brand new state. No new capital, though, so City Hall would suffice. But it was time to get down to business. New laws for the new state.
This was our first legislature in 1896, actually just the House. The Senate was apparently too cool to pose with them, so they found a woman with a bicycle to fill out the picture. Actually, the Senate was in a mess. The Salt Lake Herald newspaper blamed the Republicans and compared it all to diseased skin. The blotch is forming on the cuticle of the Republican individual, commonly known as the GOP. The managers of candidates will shortly begin to do the pinching and scratching. Great journalism. But somehow they got to the important stuff. For example, this was a new state with herds and herds of new sheep. So early on, they passed a law that you have to dip your sheep at least once a year, and our good citizens responded. Ads advertised that these were law-abiding sheep folks dipping with only the best Carsolium dip. And there were miners everywhere in Utah, kind of a gruff and rough crowd, so they passed a law about minors working with miners. Now, no one under the age of 14 could work in a mine, nor could a female. Apparently, this was all happening no thanks to a crummy, dull Senate. Not so in the House. They were duking it out. Even took time to censor senators who had only started a few days before. And there were more laws. As you can guess, a state needs more than 2 laws on the book. They looked around. They found there were dairy cows all over Utah in 1896. And the consumer-friendly legislature didn't want anyone getting skimmed by skim milk scams. So, if you skim the cream off the milk and sell it, you had to put the word skimmed milk in Gothic letters. That's the law. Or you have to face not less than a $10 fine. They were cranking out consumer laws left and right, such as one about candy. You no longer could put poisonous ingredients in candy. That was a tough law. This was the real legislature at work.
Oh, and lobbyists. There must have been an incredible meat lobby.
What? They repealed meat inspection. That had been on the books as a law to prevent the exposure for sale of unwholesome or diseased meats in cities having a population of 10,000 inhabitants or over. Yeah, they repealed it. Now you could sell all the unwholesome or diseased meat you want to sell. Oh, and they did get sideways in fiscal matters in 1896. They sent our state's assessment for the World's Fair of 1896, and they put the budget in a tailspin. There it is, an overdraft on account of the World's Fair warrant, 4 cents.
And just like today, it's spend, 2 cents here, 2 cents there. Pretty soon it's 4 cents.
Well, finally, the legislature adjourned. The Senate one final convulsion, and the Tribune wrote the agony was over.
Oh, we got an awful lot to be thankful for from that first legislature. For where would we be in Utah today if you could still poison your candy, if you could sell skim milk without telling people, and most importantly, if you didn't dip your sheep?
Oh yeah, there was no pulling the wool over the eyes of the first legislature back then in 1896.
Wouldn't you have liked to have been covering that?
Yeah.
Oh, you big
Well, I
argument.
could have been a professional sheep dipper back then. I mean,
We don't want to go into that. Yeah, you could have been.
wow. Okay.
Dirty
different
meat,
time.
poisonous candy, the Wild West. Well, thank goodness for those lawmakers. Am I right, Mr. Wirth?
Well, that's it. Yeah.